If you only have a higher ticket offer, it could be affecting your sales and ruining your energy. I'm going to teach you in this video how by creating a low ticket offer, you can get more high ticket clients. So this takes me all the way back to 2015 when I jumped on the higher ticket train. And I was taking on clients quite regularly, but it was a lot of work that came with it. Endless time inside the DMs, triage calls, booking calls, objection handling, the whole lot. And it was really slowing down the speed of my business and also ruining my energy. And it wasn't until when I cast my way back all the way to 2017, I invested into my mindset coach. It changed the game for me and gave me a new perspective on low ticket. Low ticket was something that I just didn't want to touch. I thought to myself, if people pay more, they're going to pay more attention. If I'm not able to charge high ticket, I'm going to have to work more hours. I won't be able to create the income that I want and deserve. But what really I was doing was alienating myself away from a huge part of my market. And I really want you to take this step-by-step guide on board and implement this into your business so you can actually have access to more of the marketplace. Because how you've got to look at things, and this is where I had the epiphany recently, is that when you do direct response marketing for your business, you are only going to capture the attention and convert the 2 to 3% of people that are ready to buy. And what ends up happening is that you disregard or you push away the 97 to 98%. And one of the reasons for this is because your audience, your market doesn't trust you or themselves enough to invest, or they don't value your product and service or themselves enough to invest in the first place. And when we usually do, business transactions, whether it's calls, emails on Zoom, we end up getting loads of objections at the end. Like, I need to think about it. I need to speak to my partner. Can you pop it on an email? And it's just zapping your income. And it's also zapping your energy. So when I was working with my coach back in 2017, he had 3 levels of offers. He had a low ticket, he had a medium ticket, and he had a high ticket offer. And his high ticket offer was 6K at that time. And back in 2017, trust me, I had the money to invest, but I didn't value myself enough to close off the pots of money that were leaking out into other things that I valued rather than investing into myself. So if he was to approach me, send me an email, I click on one of his ads, book a call, whatever it may be, and he was to then offer me his 6K program, even though I could afford it at the time, I would have come up with objections like, I need to think about it, speak to my partner, and so on from there. And the real reason is because at that time, I didn't value myself enough to invest that, and I didn't trust myself to invest that either. And what my old mentor did for me, which helped me rig the game for me and my clients inside of business, and I continue to do so now, is he approached me with a low ticket core offer. And I'm going to explain step by step. I'm going to share screen with you of how you can create 3 to 4 different offers in your program, how to position your core offer, and how to then upsell clients into high ticket. So back in 2017, my old mindset coach, he had an offer which was teaching you how to end self-sabotage in just 28 days. And that was one of the small problems that I needed to solve that was closest to me and was more realistic for me to achieve and overcome. And the price point was at just $99. So I jumped on board. When I jumped on board on this low ticket offer, he absolutely changed my world. He rocked my world, and he changed my perspective and how I valued myself, because I started to take action. I started to look at where money was leaking out in these pots. It was going on my expensive car, dopamine hits, alcohol, terrible food, buying expensive clothes, whatever it may be. But when I started to go through the steps of his program, when he started to solve the problem of self-sabotage, I was then bought into his philosophy. I was bought into his message and journey, and I was buying into myself that investing into myself wasn't a cost. It was in fact an investment. And by me not investing in myself, it was costing me so much more. And what ended up happening, all these pots that were open, where money was leaking out, they started to close off. And then when he approached me at the end of the 4 weeks of working together, he said to me, Russ, my next offer at 90 days to go into the next level program to solve these problems that now have been, uncovered by solving the small problems. And I'll speak more about this later. It's 2.5K. And I just said, yeah, I'm in. And then at the end of the 90 days, I joined his 6K a year mastermind, and I continued to do that for the next 4.5 years. I ended up spending almost $30,000, so about 25 grand, because I'm from England, on this coach. And if he hadn't have had a low ticket offer, I would have not worked with him for long term and changed my life. So this is why I'm trying to tell you, if you only have a high ticket product, you can be missing out on sales, you can be alienating your audience, and you can also be burning your energy with all of these objections and talking to people that don't actually know, like, and trust you yet. We need to get them a part of the way and think about solving 3 levels of problems. So I'm going to share screen and run through how to create your offer, how to craft this, how to sell it, how to do this without having to create something new for your product or your course or program. And so that then you can ascend people to the higher levels of growth and never feel like you're having to sell or push or handle objections again inside of your business. So first things first is figuring out how money works, right? And money is just an exchange. And it's an exchange of value. And you'll have to forgive my handwriting. Everyone says I have doctor's handwriting. And it's an exchange of value. And value is created when pain is alleviated. And your audience and your market, depending on what product you're selling, they have 3 levels of problems and pains that they need to solve. Number 1 is they have the pebble problems. Number 2, they have the rock problems. And number 3, they have the boulder problems. And each of these problems, when they are solved, they then require a ticket price to it. There's no point putting a 2K price point on a pebble problem solving product. The same as there's no point putting a £100 or $100 on a boulder. Because when it comes to selling high ticket, the biggest mistake I find with coaches, with course creators, consultants, is they just sell high ticket. They're not selling high ticket solutions to high ticket problems. But sometimes your market isn't aware of these high ticket problems that they have, and they just want to solve the ones that are closest to them right now, which is feeling a little bit less uncomfortable or attractive, or moving slightly towards pleasure and slightly away from pain. Not trying to kind of put your business, your product, and your outcomes on a pedestal that seem too far out of reach for your market. So you want to be focusing on solving the pebble problems to start. And then when you solve the pebble problems, it will expose the rock problems. And then when you solve the rock problems, you then solve the boulder problems. And this is how you create an ascension model inside of your business. And the beauty of this is that when I started doing this way back in 2019, and I've done this for every business that I've built since then online, it allows you to actually sell this product without even the need to jump on a sales call. This can be all taken care of with a document, a proposal, whatever it may be, a Loom video, so that you can convert these people, because it's a no-brainer offer, okay? So we've got these 3 levels. So now we understand different problems. We can now find there's different tickets to our program or product. So pebble problems could be at the kind of 100 to 500 mark. Rock problems could be at the 500 to 2K. And then boulder problems, 2K to even 10K, depending on the product and service. But you have to understand your market and what's closest to them right now. Meet them at their current level of pain and discomfort. So when I first started one of my recent businesses is helping coaches with client acquisition and upgrading their identity to become the 2.0 version of themselves so that they can actually consistently grow their income. That seemed too far out of reach because this is a massive boulder problem. So I had to break it down into different offers. So offer number 1 was I needed to create a core offer. And this is like a minimal viable product. This is usually something with a 4 to 6 week time length. And 4 to 6 weeks is great because it's long enough to get a result and it's short enough to keep their attention. We know what it's like when we get clients and they get to that kind of 8 to 9 week mark. Sometimes things fall off. So if you can get them there in that 4 to 6 week period, the emotion is high, they're getting results, and they're prime and ready for the upsell so you can ascend them into the next level of growth. Number 2 is you want to create a premium offer. You probably already have this, which is your high ticket, and we can call this low ticket, this one here. And then from there, we can have our Rolls Royce product, which is taking care of the boulder problems. So this is like super high ticket. And then number 4, which I think is always king, is your continuity, which is your monthly recurring revenue. And this is your back end for clients, okay? So back when I started my online business back in late 2022, doing consulting and client acquisition and so on, as I was saying, I created a core offer. And my core offer was just for 6 weeks. And then I thought about my avatar, and then I started to think about what am I most skilled at? And it kind of worked out as like 4 different levels. So at the top here was sales. The next one was creating Grand Slam offers. Then it was building systems for your business. And then lastly, it was community. And I thought to myself, which one of these is going to be the most painful problem for my market, for my network? And my background is fitness. I started off as a fitness professional way back in 2007, and I ran a few online fitness businesses and built them to 6 figures. And then I started teaching other fitness professionals to do so. And now we help all coaches across all boards. But one of the things that I know is a huge pain point for people that have a high ticket product is they can't close enough people into it. So then this branched off into multiple areas. So with sales, we had the DM process, we had objection handling, we had how to frame the call, we had how to set up the pre-call framework so that we get more people to show up. And there were many other aspects to it. And because that's one of my superpowers, one thing I'm most experienced about, and at that time I was more passionate about and knew I could really solve that problem, I created a 6-week program. And instead of creating the program, I already had trainings from other programs. So you don't have to create something brand new with this. You may have a program or a product that lasts for 6 months or a year. You just need to shorten it down to the first part because we're just getting people out of the gate, getting them moving. So then we can then upsell to them when we reveal the other problems and needs that they want and stretch their vision to that, that compelling and inspiring future. So here's how to create an offer, okay? We need to understand a few things before we create an offer. We need to understand where they currently are right now. So this is the current state. Then we need to understand the steps it's going to take to get them to their goal so that they're winning. And each of these steps, we can call these problems. And these problems create pain. And the more pain you can alleviate, the higher the ticket. But we've got to think about the pains and problems to start off with. And then this helps you just build out the pillars and helps you build the offer. And as well as that, we need to have some form of a safety net, which is risk reversal. So if they get here and they fall off, they bounce back and they're better off than when they started. And this helps build buyers' confidence. So my offer back at late 2022 was to help coaches that have a high ticket offer double their show up rate and double their close rate in just 6 weeks and be able to handle sales objections like an absolute Jedi. And if you did 4x your return on investment in those 6 weeks, I would not only give you a full refund, but I would give you £500 on top wire transfer to your bank account and work with you for another 6 weeks to improve your sales skills. So the worst case scenario is that they came, they had a great experience, they didn't quite get the result, but then they're going to get a refund, net money, and also get more of my time. But yes, there were conditions that applied, but those conditions were not to trip up any of my clients. It was to facilitate the outcome, which protects us both. Because if they do A, B, C, and X, Y, Z on every single day, that is the process and methodology for them to adhere to get the outcome and promise that I gave them. And that's why offers are so important when it comes to you selling your product or service, because your offer builds your product, your offer builds your programs, the offer builds your website, your landing pages, and so on from there. And that was a real turning point for me. So now we have your offer, we now need to position it. So we need to build, first of all, a warm list. And a warm list is your current network. This could be all of your email contacts, all of your social media contacts. This could be all of the clients that you've worked with in the past, so ex-clients. This could be people that said no or not right now to you on a call or through email. And you want to position this offer as either a case study or a beta test. And by taking part inside of this program, they're going to receive a radical discount. You can see my spelling is quite bad. A radical discount by taking part. And this is going to entice them. And when I launched this offer a couple of years ago, I ended up just sending over 300 voice notes over a couple of days to all of my network. And from that, over 80 people got back to me and said, oh, I'd love to join. And I'd love to get the details. And I was like, right, I can't really jump on 80 sales calls because I was already running my fitness business. I was helping my wife with her gut health business. And I just didn't physically have the time. So what I did is I created a proposal. And this proposal was just done on a Google Doc, very, very simple. And it clearly outlined the pains and problems that they had, their future desired state, and how I was going to help them overcome each of those problems broken down over the next 6 weeks, plus the huge discount, plus a few other bonuses. And out of those 80 people, 23 said yes. And I sold that program for just £500, it was about $600. And that's what kicked off my new business. Within 2 weeks of going back and forward with people in the DMs, within 2 weeks of sending proposals, voice notes, overcoming objections, and asking questions to give people clarity and confidence to move forward, we signed up our first 23 clients. We started a business from scratch with no investment, with no big following, without having to do any content, ads, and so on from there. And we was already over 10K in profit. And the beauty of running this 6-week program is that over the time from week 1 to week 6, I was constantly asking my clients questions. I was asking about their wants and their needs and their frustrations and their fears. And apart from just learning how to sell and close people and handle objections, what else do you need help with? And they told me they needed help with creating offers. They needed help with building solid systems. They needed help with how to build a community and many other things. And then from that one core offer, I then built my higher ticket offer because they told me exactly what they wanted. Because people aren't going to pay for things because they're worth the money. They're going to pay for things because it's worth more than the money. And if I can give them exactly what they said they want, which will solve their problems, which is creating pain and alleviate that pain and take them to their desired future, it's going to be a no-brainer every single time. So you get obsessed with your audience's problems, you create a core offer for it, you take them through that core offer, treat them like absolute gold, get obsessed with their new problems that they have and the problems that the other problems, that they need to solve apart from the one thing that you've promised. And then that helps you build the next level. Because I got stuck in this for years. It was my ego thinking I knew best. I was trying to make the marketplace fit around me. I was like, this is an amazing product. Everyone needs this, but it didn't land. And it was because I didn't get obsessed with the market. I didn't do any research. And I just was pig-headed and I got stuck in my ways. I ended up just spending loads of time just trying to push people through my funnel and beat people into a submission on a sales call and like hard sell and finally make a sale. I ended up getting people with buyer's remorse, wrong fits, clients that were draining my energy. And as soon as I switched it to this method of just creating a low ticket product, I got more high ticket clients. And I was selling to these people through proposals rather than actually having to do a sales call. And then when it comes to the upsell, it was just done on a group webinar and they got the replay with the proposal because I made them another offer that they couldn't refuse. As a thank you for taking part, there's still a discount. There's a commitment of 12 months and we ascended through that. And I took my online business from going from B2C to B2B from 0 to 20K a month inside just, I think it was about 9 to 12 week process. I think it was all in like 9 to 12 weeks. So creating a multiple 6-figure business just in that time. And I'm not saying this to impress you. I'm just saying it to press upon you that you may be missing out on sales. You may be missing out on helping your audience. Because if you're just doing direct response marketing, if you're just going for the sale every single time, if you're just selling high ticket only, you are missing out on the 97 to 98% of people that aren't ready to buy, but they're sick of being sold to. And you just need to build a bit more know, like, and trust and get them a part of the way, give them a vote of confidence. They'll give you a financial vote of confidence at a low fee so that then you change their world, you change their perspective, you change their values, you change their beliefs so that they can go all in for your high ticket product. It's how I got started, it's how I changed my model, and it works for me and my clients on repeat. So let's now take a look at how this looks from a 100-foot view. I'm going to share screen and show you step by step. So at top of funnel, we have the core offer. So core offers at the top of funnel. This is your 4 to 6 week product or 4 to 6 week program that is taking care of the Pebble problems. From there, you're then ascending. We either do a workshop on this or a webinar so that this saves time and gets all of the kind of half and half people and the all-ins to attend. And then you can then convey your message and offer with a slideshow, with a PowerPoint presentation, whatever it is that you need to then position your offer of value and give them a discount as well for taking part. And then they'll go into the higher ticket. Or you can book calls. How I frame this to my clients is I send them a private message or a voice note and say, thank you so much for taking part so far. We're nearly at the end point of the challenge, the program, the product. And I wanted to just get some feedback from you and jump on a graduation call. I want to celebrate your wins, what you're most proud of. I want to get plenty of feedback from you, from the product, so we can make it even better because we're beta testing at the moment. And we can also then stretch your vision to see what you want to achieve in the next 6 to 12 months. And we can talk about a battle plan there and then. And the way that I'm framing that is not saying, hey, let's jump on a call to see what the next steps are, because they don't want to be sold to. Remember, people don't want to be sold to. You're not trying to sell your product or service. You're trying to create an environment that makes them feel like buying your product or service. And then on the graduation call, you are about 80% there with knowing exactly what they need because you've been obsessed with their pains and problems throughout the duration of working together. So you're going to open them up, you're going to stretch their vision, and then you're going to ascend these people into either your high ticket product or your super high ticket product, depending on where they're at. And for those of you that get objections like I can't afford it, it seems too much, I'm quite happy with the payment I have right now, this is where you can position yourself to build your monthly recurring revenue. So then you can then relate to them, well, you're happy in the group atmosphere, you're happy with what you've got so far. Would you just like to continue for X amount of months or a term and pay X amount of dollars per month? And 9 times out of 10, this is a great way to downsell, great way to overcome objections and build healthy monthly recurring revenue. Over the course of 6 months of us running this offer, we took around about 200 coaches through this. So 200 coaches, times that by £500 or $500, that's where we was at. And by the end of that process, we had just over 50 coaches on our monthly reoccurring or our higher ticket products. And this is what took me from zero money in my business back in the back end of 2022 to having a multiple 6-figure business in just 6 months. And I've done this repeatedly over and over again. I did this with my fitness businesses, my wife's gut health business, and now with my coaching business. So this is a perfect way for you to meet people at their current level of pain, overcome those objections with a low barrier, no-brainer, Godfather offer that serves them at their current level of pain and discomfort, deals with those problems that are closest to them, and then ascend them into the next levels of growth. So I hope by now you can see how powerful having a low ticket core offer inside of your business is going to allow you to have access to more of your market, to help more people solve more of their pains and problems, and have more people red hot to buy for your high ticket service. And this will actually remove the headache of objections, the energy drain of chasing and sending endless cold DMs. And it would also allow you to sell people into this by ascending them through the model rather than pushing them through and having that hard sell. 9 times out of 10, when people finish the low ticket product, they end up asking just, how do I continue to work with you? And there is no need for a sales call. It's just, what do you want? Here's the offer. This is going to solve the problems. And it marries up every time because you got obsessed with your clients in the low ticket to find out exactly what they want and need to take them to their next goal, their North Star, their Everest. So if you got some value from this, please give me a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.